Now let us check how we can use this if-else statement into our programs. So generally, as I said, if-else statement can be used in whenever we are going for making any particular decision. So as per the the programs, or as per the cases generally you will have, or as per the conditions you have to take multiple decisions. A program basic if-else condition will have if standard with else, called as if. That is means if-else condition we are using. So if suppose we have multiple condition, correct, like if, else and if, again if or else, that is true value, again I have some program, if not then also I have program, then the other. Now I can take an example. There is a gender case. In gender case, a person can be a male or a female. If not female, that will be a transgender. That is the output generally we should have, right? So either he can be a male or a female or a transgender. So if he is not a male or female, so automatically it will go to the default value, that is a transgender. So the same thing we can use into this kind of statement, means we have a third output if any of the cases is not true, 1, and case 2 is false. So the condition 3 will automatically defaultly accepted. That is the if-else fi statement. The next we have, that is if-else if, else fi, means it is a nested statement we have. Like if suppose we have statement inside a statement, this is called as nested statement. So a program contain values, inside that also we have multiple values. For example, I can say what you want to eat, veg or non-veg. So this is the two condition you have. Either you can go for an option 1 or option 2. Again in option 2, like veg, we have multiple options, whether you want to have some item related to the rice or any particular chapatis. So this is again the two of the options you have. So whenever you have options under an option, that is called as an nested statements. So if you are using a nested kind of program, if you have nested statements, you can go for if, else if, else fi statements. So these are the three type of statements generally we use while creating a program, depending upon the conditions you have into the program. So let us check a particular examples of all of these three programs which we are going to use into the shell. So here I am going to start with your decision making, and I am going to add a simple if statement where I'll be again creating an sh file, and here we are going to start with your command I'm going to add, so that you will come to know which command I'm using. So that is if statement I'm going to use. Okay, and here again what I'm going to do is, here I'm going to define a variable and I'm going to add a value into it. So I have added a value like a equals to 10. Same way I can also add the value for b. So I have added the value of b equals to 20, and I want to check whether these values are equal or not. So a simple program I'm writing here. So for that, first I'll define the condition in such a way. I'll define if under the close and open square brackets, you need to define $a, that is my first variable, equals to, we can use any particular variable commands we can, b, and again you can define the space if it is done. So if this is true, then you will be defining echo both values are equal, right? So either you can define in such a way, or you can even call the values. First I will define in such a way, and for ending this I'll be using fi, and I'll save this and we'll come out of it. Again I'm going to run the same file. So as those files are not equal, or both the variables are not equal, that's the reason we haven't got anything over here. Now if both the lines or both the variables are equal, now for example I'll just change it, any one of the variable, this one to 20, and again I'll save it, and again we can check. So So you are getting the message both values are. We can use this in such a way. We can also call the variable, or we can also get the variables from the users as well, like we have used into our earlier programs. Like if as such, I'll also define it in a way. I want to take the data from the user, so echo first number, okay, read A, and echo the second number, read B. Okay, then we can save this and move out of it. I've just defined the p value, so I just need to remove that as well. So I'm just going to remove the same. Okay, so save it, and now I'm going to run the same one. If dot as such, first value is 2, second value is 2, I'll get this message. If again I run the same, and if again I get the different values, I won't get any particular message. That means they are not equal. But see, we have used a condition, but if I'm using the simple kind of condition, I won't be able to get any message if I do not have the same values, or my equation or the condition which I have that is true, I'll get the output. But if there is no true, so I won't get any particular message on the screen. So for that, we can again move for your different variable, different kind of your we can say a decision making, which is called as if else. Now for example, we are defining the value for true value, as well as we'll define the condition for the false values as well. So for that, again I can use a different command, or I can use the same file. So as such, we have defined that if A equals to B, then we should print echo both values are equal. If suppose this is not true condition, so what you will have now, what I can do is I can insert here, I'll just change this fi, and I'll add else. If it is not true, then we should get a message called as, I'll just define a tab, echo both values are not equal, right? So this is the message I should get. And if you get this message, that means this message is your contained by, or we can also add it here, that will come to know this is the now statement we are adding, and due to which this complete the statement, we have a decision making, we are using here this if else fi statement, okay, but just by adding the else value. So once we have done with this, once we have added the false value, again we need to define fi. Once we are handing over here, just save it, and again I'm going to run the same file, sh if.sh 2 3. Now you can see it is showing you both values are not equal. Now same way, if I run if.sh and I give the same values, if I give the same values 3 and 3, it will give me both values are equal. So it is accepting both the true and false conditions and giving the output as per the decisions we have. So this we have seen about your if else statement. But sometimes your program is a bit lengthy, and you need to define multiple else and else statement. That's called as your nested statement that we are going to see here. So for that altogether, I'll be using some other file, or we can say some other particular file. So I'm just going to take another example, like for the nested decision making, or we can say vast decision making, right? Dot sh.
Now for that I'll be using variable, that is a. I'll add some word to a, or what I can do is I can add something like word variable. I'm going to add it with a. Now I'm going to set a condition if this variable which I have inserted, that is word, is equal to the b. If it is not a, if it is equal to b, then what we are going to do is, okay, so I have used double bracket, so I'll be closing with double square bracket itself. Then what the output I should get, I'll get the output as echo the condition is true, for example. And then if not, then if else, or else if we can use, else if this is not true, then this can be a case where your, can define space here, space, your word is equal to your letter a, right? And then close this brackets. If it is fine, then the output what we should get, that is, so the condition is, it is false because it is not same as your b, sorry, or equal to your, here we can see if it is true, okay, this is the false condition, because in this case this is matching with your a. So here we have set the other condition that if it is equal to a, the condition a is true. I'll just define so that I can come to know which condition is correct or which condition is having a true value. So for that I'll just define the condition matches with b, right, with b, so it's true, right? So if here again I'll define the condition matches to a value, so is it true? Now we have defined two values, like either it is matches with a, so again it will be true. If it matches to b, again it is true. Now what if it doesn't matches anything, correct? So for that I can define else if both are not matched. So we should define the condition both conditions are not matched. Both conditions a and b are, we can define any whatever the output you want, you can define. So both and a but the conditions are not matched, right? So it's false, right? So this is what exactly I have. Now again I'll end it by using the if-else. So this kind of statement where you have multiple statement, multiple conditions, this can be called as your if else if, that is, you can define as elif and your else, and then again your f5, right? So which we have seen. Now let us check the output of this. Again I'm going to run it with your was decision.sh. a is true, right? So as we have seen, like the value which I have added to my word, the value which I have added to my word variable was a. Now if I make any changes to it, like if I make into to word called as b, so we can check it by giving the command decision. So it's showing you the b is true. But if I change, and I'll change the word as c, so it should not match both the conditions, and it should give me the this particular message that both are not matched and it's false now. Got it? So this is false. So this is how generally we create multiple statements, multiple decisions. Same we can also do into the file which we have created earlier, if1, and I'm going to do sh. So we have now here else if statement, right? If suppose I have multiple conditions, like I have the condition like you can see echo first number is a, b number is if equals to b, then the values are equal. And then again I'm going to add one more line here. Now for this I can just, what I can do is I can save as copy of this file itself. So I'll just copy the if.sh file with the name if2.sh file. Let us see here, vi if2.sh. So I'm going to make the changes so that this particular whole the decision making is done by using if, if and else and fi, right? So for that I'll just remove this line now. I'll define multiple conditions to it, where I have also defined the condition if. I'm going to add one more. Condition here. I'm going to add echo third number, right? I'll define third number here. Read c, right? So again a equals to b, then both values are equal if then we can get the echo command. Then we can define elif, we can get echo. You can also set the condition for your else if, and as we have done into the earlier one, we can also define it as else if. Again the conditions we need to define: if $a value equals to $c. If it is the same, then what we need to type is, then we should get an message called as echo both value a and c are equal. And here I'll make a changes. Both values of a and b are equal, right? So if it's not, so both values are not equal. This will be the case. I'm going to add, hit enter, sh if2.sh, first number 2, second number 3, third number 4. So it is showing you 3 are not equal. Again, if I use the if2.sh, first value is 2, second value is 3, third value is again 2. So it is showing you a and c are equal, right? Same way, if I give command as if2.sh and first value 2, second value 2, third value is different, it will show you a and b are equal. So this is the way how we can create a nested if conditions into your decision making. So this is how generally we can program into the script. So the last option generally we have, that is how we can use a case as such. So the case as such we are going to see into the next video.